All right, everyone, you know what time it is. Thursday night here in the U.S. and time for another Hometown Hammer. Now, before we get started tonight, I wanted to remind everyone you want to like and subscribe to all your American Hammer TV shows. So you have your post-match with Tommy and Chris, and you have your Sundays, which now I think will be moving to Wednesdays with Lee. So you want to make sure you go ahead and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, give me a little like down there below because every like is equal to a West Ham win. And you know we can use all the wins we can get. Another thing, don't forget you can get your American Hammers TV gear at ahtv.threadless.com. I was on there last week checking out some stuff. You can even get some COVID masks. So we've really upgraded some of the gear. Go ahead and make sure you check that out. All right. So tonight I have a very special guest. As I said, it's Thirsty Thursday here in the U.S. But for this special guest, he's a little bit ahead. He's already on Friday, so he's seeing the future for us, and hopefully the future of West Ham is very bright. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on our next Hometown Hammer, which is Steve from Down Under. Hey, Steve.
Hello. G'day, guys. How is everyone?
Good. How are you? How's your morning?
Yeah. Really good. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It's nice. It's not raining. It's a pleasant day here in Australia.
So what's warm?
And 3 points. It's 18 degrees, which is Celsius, not Fahrenheit. I don't know how you guys work out your weird way of temperature.
Yeah, we're Fahrenheit here, but that's not too bad.
No,
I don't know the direct conversion, but
yeah, no, it's okay. But yeah, got up at 5 this morning to watch West Ham beat Rapid Vienna, which is fun. So it's always early here. Every game, like even the 3 p.m. kickoffs in the UK are normally midnight here, so it can ruin a week or a weekend very quickly.
Yeah. Well, today was a good day. I mean, early morning for you.
It's a great start.
Yeah, that is a great start. I mean, I was thoroughly impressed with our finishing. It looked a little bit better. We still have a lot to improve on. I was excited to see Antonio make that beautiful assist to Mr. Rice. And Dawson even got a header in there. I thought it was going to go in.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like since Moyes has come back, his decision making has gotten so much better. I remember a couple of years ago where Antonio would lash out with his left foot into Rosie and not squared that pass. So he'd come a long way. And then even the finishing, we've been clinical all season. The only person that can maybe cop a bit of criticism would be Bowen. And I think that's why he didn't get an England call up, because he just hasn't found the goals yet. But once he adds goals to his game, we've got one hell of a winger.
I agree with you. I am expecting more of Bowen, and I do believe that is why he did not get called up. It was nice to see Ben Rama scored. I didn't get to see that goal, so tell me a little bit about that.
So that goal was the ball across from the right-hand side. I don't know who played the ball. It was meant for Pablo Fornals, but Benrahma took it off his toes, checked back, put it on his right foot, and just tucked it in the bottom corner. It was a great finish. He did really well. I think if he missed, I think Pablo would have been after him. So, it was great way to finish the game. And to be fair, we should have been out of sight by the first half. And to see Moisey sort of bring on the big guns just to try and win that game, it's obvious he wants, if we're on 12 points after 4 games, he can rotate a lot heavier because the group will be tied up if we keep playing like that.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. And to have Ben Rama continue to go on his scoring streak would be amazing. We've been waiting for Ben Rama to start this since the beginning of last season when we first got him. Now it seems like he's finally getting his opportunities and the time has come. We just need him to continue to put that thing in the back of the net.
Well, it's a big statement, but I honestly think if he carries this on, he could be even bigger for us than Payet was. And he seems like he's got a better attitude too, which should be great.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely a better attitude, which I love. I think that he's quite a gem. We're very fortunate to have him. He did get a yellow card, right?
Yeah, he might have. Yes, I didn't clock that, to be honest. I don't take too much notice of the bookings.
Yeah, I think he caught
Yeah,
a
yeah.
yellow card there. I saw something and they said that the midfielder um had caught a yellow card and I was like, Ben Rama? That's no. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So Foe in the chat says a beautiful night for football. He's by the fire. Oh no, the fire show.
Yeah.
Here in the US, it's a little chilly. So we're now starting bonfire season.
All right.
Yeah, it's getting pretty nice. You need a sweatshirt at night. A little chilly, light jacket during the day, but still beautiful weather, beautiful football weather as we call it here.
Well, so is but in the States, you guys play a summer league, yeah? You guys play opposite to the EPL, is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, there's no local teams playing. You guys just have to watch international.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So tell me a little bit about how you became a fan, because unlike us here in the US, you are an expat living in uh, Australia, but you are actually from Essex.
Yeah, yeah. So I moved across when I was 13 with my parents, but I grew up in Chelmsford in Essex, which is very, very deep in West Ham territory. It's all West Ham there, and I loved it. You go to the shopping centre and everyone's wearing West Ham shirts. It's amazing. Yeah, and then when you move somewhere, like you'd know yourself, when you go to local shops, you see no one. In Australia, everyone's brainwashed to be a Liverpool fan, so it's quite hard to take.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But so when you walk out and you're in a West Ham shirt, there's not many of us, and when you see one, you always stop for a chat. It's great. And fortunately, I think there's a few kicking around here where I am because I see them now and then. But yeah, so I moved across when I was 13, but West Ham's in my family. My father's a huge fan. The women on the side of the family don't care so much for football, but I played from a young age in the UK, out here as well, and I've just always been West Ham, man. I love it, and it's really nice to see that we're actually good for once. Like the last season at the Bowling was fun, but let's be honest, the last 10 years, 20 years, we've been pretty rubbish. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's nice to actually, it's weird getting up watching us in Europe. It's such a strange feeling, and I don't know how the big four teams can ever complain about anything because this is amazing.
It is an amazing feeling. We've been very
Yeah.
spoiled this past season. Um, Tebow wants to know where in Oz you are.
So I'm in Melbourne, in a bayside suburb called Frankston South. It's a nice part of the world. It's about 45 minutes from Melbourne CBD. So it's not too far getting to town. And yeah, Chelmsford. Yeah, yeah, that's where I grew up. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. So you have to be pretty close to Neil, because I think Neil is in Melbourne too. I know
Yeah, right.
Kieran, he's not in the chat tonight, but hi David, I see you. I hope your back's doing well. Been thinking of you. But yeah, we've got a lot of individuals in Australia that come and listen on Thursday nights. So I am so honored and was so excited when you reached out to get on the show. So um
Yeah, well, look, I'll be honest. I've watched a couple, and it's always impressive because it is a little network you've got, like a little family network. It's not one of those mainstream sort of podcasts where you guys just read off a rap sheet. You interact with everyone. And that's what is really good to see. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we try and keep it down to earth here. It's hard getting fans in the US to come on. They're very nervous. So we try to make it as relaxed as we can. Oh, Neil's in South Australia, 500 miles from where you are. So
Well,
not too far. Closer. Neil, you're closer than I am.
yeah. Yeah, well, look, South Australia is a beautiful place. So I worked in Adelaide for a while, and it's a great part of the world. Um,
Yeah.
so
So,
if he's out near wine country, it's a nice part of the world.
oh, that sounds amazing. Wine
Yeah,
country.
yeah.
So you've gone back to London from Australia. What's that flight like?
Look, honestly, I don't mind the flight. I know some people will say, "Oh, it's a nightmare." I'm not luxurious enough to fly anything other than economy. So, but it's always been comfortable. Just sit back, and they've always got good. They always had. It's been a while. They always had good films on the thing. So I just kick back, watch a couple of films, and the best thing about it, and I don't advocate this, but alcohol's free on long haul flights, so I can have a party up there too. So I have a few beers and watch a film and fall asleep. It's peaceful. It's
Sounds
the
great.
yeah, it's the time difference, the jet lag that gets you though. That's the hard part because
Yeah.
it's a 12-hour swing, so it's hard.
Yeah, I don't do too well with that.
No, well, even I think the states, like I don't know what it is in Philadelphia, but I think from Melbourne to Los Angeles, you can go via New Zealand, and I think that's an 18-hour flight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's about that.
it's brutal. I don't know how I'd go with that one, but
Yeah.
normally I'll fly. I'll do a two-legged flight.
Well, it's gonna have to be lots of Australian wine once I get there.
Yeah. Well, honestly, look, they export heaps. So next time you're at the local alcohol centre, if you like a drop of red, honestly, look up a South Australian bottle of wine. You won't be disappointed.
Oh yeah, I like Shiraz. There's a
Yep.
Shiraz that I really like called Shoe Fly here. So I'd have to look it up where it is actually made, and I'll let you know because that's definitely one of my favorites.
Oh,
So
very
we
good.
still have people rolling in the chat tonight. There's a lot of people in here to see you, Steve.
Oh, great. No, that's great. Well, look, I don't have much of a social media presence, if I'm being honest. I've only really used my Twitter handle, and I just offer bad opinions of West Ham most of the time. So it's I don't podcast. I don't. This is my podcast debut with anyone. So
Oh my
you're taking
goodness.
the cherry. And I just like talking to West Ham fans because it's so rare to be able to speak to people in Australia that aren't Liverpool fans. So it's nice.
Yeah. So West Ham Ramdom is Peach, and he's in Australia. Canada. So
Okay.
we have people coming in, visiting online from all over. Last week we had someone in Thailand, so it's exciting. We get a lot of different people out and about, and of course, Fo, always got to give you the heart. Good to see you tonight. So tell me a little bit about when you got to go to games at the Boleyn, because you said you haven't, you visited London Stadium, have yet to see a game there. I was able to see a game in London Stadium, but not at Boleyn. So I want to know what that experience is like. Tell me from your perspective.
Okay, so it was just a beautiful old stadium. Like I said, I grew up there, so I've been going to West Ham games since I was about 5 years old. And I moved here when I was 13, so I probably clocked about 20 games, 20, 30 games there. And it was just a magical place. Like I flew back in the last season at Upton Park, and I did see us lose to Leicester, who won the Premier League that year. So it wasn't so disappointing when you saw where they finished up. We lost 2-1, and Payet scored a screamer. But that was I went with my dad, who lives in the UK again too, so that was a nice experience to go with him. It's just the walk. I think people would tell you the walk from the train station to the stadium was the best thing about that. It's just all the stalls, all like East End tradition, all the locals, people that have been around that football club for centuries, or not centuries, for years. And they were just, it was just the atmosphere that's created there, and the feeling of family, and just like you'd meet people out the ground that you could tell they've been doing it for 40 years. It was their tradition. They went every Saturday. It was just, and you can't get that. You can't buy that. You can't replicate it. It's time. Time is the one thing we can't buy. So it was an amazing place. The atmosphere as well. And I don't know what London Stadium's like. I've heard it's getting better. But it's going to be a long time before we can replicate what we had at Upton Park, because that place, we won trophies there. So
I'm surprised to hear it's getting better. And maybe
yeah,
it's only getting better because we're starting to win.
right.
But I still think that it will forever be, it will never be forgotten the bowl in.
No,
The experience, it's never going to be the same at East London Stadium.
it's a shame because we do have some of the best fans out there, and I heard that there's disappointment this morning that we didn't sell out the game, but I think it's £60 a ticket on a Thursday night in the UK is it's a tough ask for anyone. So the club in many ways have to have a look at themselves and realise we're not a cash cow, the fans. But until that stadium is owned by West Ham, it's not gonna feel like home. And that's you can put as many West Ham stickers on seats as you want, but until we own our own stadium, it's not home. It's like a rental home. You can't hang pictures in rentals. That's just a fact of life. And until hopefully, if the LLDC keep losing money on that stadium, they'll just give it to us.
Well,
I think that's what GSB want, to be honest. I think they want the stadium handed to them. So.
Well, that would be nice. I mean, now they just put up a new statue over the past couple days. Billy Bonds.
Peters and Moore, and that was the 65 Cup Winners' Cup celebration. So obviously well out of our lifetime, but hopefully we had a Europa League trophy out this year. And there was some funny punditry. I don't know if you caught it. They had Joe Cole and Carlton Cole covering the game today I'm not sure who, but they interviewed Mark Noble and they said, if you win this trophy, they'll name that stand after you. And he retorted back. He said, "Oh, they should have named a stand after you, like Carlton Cole." And he's like, and Joe Cole piped in and said, "No, there's a fire exit named after him out the back."
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no,
but again,
I didn't.
Again, the club, West Ham as a club, you don't get that with any other club. You don't see ex-players come in and act like that. It's you look at your Carragers and your Nevilles, and they're great pundits, but they tell you they're United Liverpool, and yeah, they are, but they don't do that. They don't joke around like that or talk like that, which is, again, it's just my love for West Ham grows more when I see stuff like that.
So would you say that's your favorite part about being a West Ham fan?
The family side of it. I love our history too. And I love how much fans will talk about our history. And as much as people say, you can't live in the past is what made us who we are. So, as a club, it's, the thing I can talk to you, Katie, an American West Ham fan that I've never met before. I've seen you on a screen, and we can talk. And we share the same passion. And I know fans all around will say the same about the thing, but it's different. Like, I don't know, there's a lot more loyalty of West Ham. We've been rubbish for so long, and yet we all still turn up. We all still watch. We all still love the club. And even if we got relegated, we'd all come back. It's that we're not fickle. And that, to me, is what makes West Ham. The fact that we would stick it through no matter what. And that's my biggest love of the club. Is just even though when we can be at our lowest, we will always come back.
Yeah, we've definitely had some lows over the past several years, but we do stick together and commiserate on those lows. But it's been great to see the transition. Obviously, David Moyes has really stepped up for us, and in Moyes we trust, because I think the future will be bright. And Tebow says that right here. The future of West Ham will be very different. Hopefully in a good way, very different. Because I think that really how much better we've come together to communicate and work the ball down the field. You can see it's apparent that, the team is becoming a family. We saw that last year with the start of that. And I think that that's continuing this year.
Oh, I completely agree. And look, I'm not the biggest fan of the owners of the club, but hats off to them for their moderate investment in the first team. It's Moyes has done so well to put the money where he's put it. I've said to everyone, when I talk about West Ham now and they say, Moyes is doing a fantastic job, let's not forget about that backroom staff he's built, because that in itself is unbelievable. You look at the names there, Nevin, Nolan, or Keane. Well, I think he's around still. He might have gone. No, Keane's gone. But those guys are just fantastic characters to have around, and you can bet your bottom dollar that Noble will move into a coaching role at the end of the year too. I guarantee that he'll be. I think he's been touted for the under 23s, and again, you've got a legend coaching the next generation through. So it's fantastic. But like you said, the way we play now, and having a small squad in itself, as much as injuries will kill us, having that small squad, you can see how everyone's held to account. If you have a bad game, the others will pick up for you. There's no finger pointing. Like, look at teams like Man United when they have a bad game, they will yell at each other. You don't see that in a West Ham team at the moment, anyway, and it's great. The camaraderie is so nice to see.
It is great. So who would you say is your favorite player right now?
Oh, it's Declan Rice, hands down. Hands down. He's just a footballer, isn't he? He's unbelievable.
So consistent.
He's just, you can tell he stands out every game. Even when he's having a bad game, he still stands out. And that says it all. So hopefully we have a successful year and he stays on, because he is destined for big things. And we can only hope that the club matches that, and that we, along as with him, do big things. Because unfortunately, if we progress like we did when we left Upton Park, and we had that huge season and then we went backwards, if we don't continue moving forward, he will leave, and it'll be a sad day for us. But I don't think any West Ham fan will hold a grudge. So,
I'm with David. Let's pay him.
Well, you'd like to think, as us as West Ham fans would say, we'd stay no matter what. We just want more money, but at the end of the day, if Man City come knocking and they offer him the same money and trophies, look, as much as he loves the club, I'd be surprised. Grealish loved Aston Villa, he still went. So it'll be a sad day, but if we're not being successful, you can understand why he'd go.
It's weird not seeing Grealish in Aston Villa colors. That's always what I'm going to think of. When I think of Grealish, it's Aston Villa, and when I think of Declan Rice, it's West Ham.
Of course, yeah, but it's a weird one, isn't it? Because you always see the Twitter trolls on the stream afterwards, all the Chelsea fans saying, "Come home, come back to Chelsea," and bigging them up and doing all that. And then you look at the scorn their players receive, and they have a bad game too, and you just think, why would you go there? Like, you have one bad game, and they'll say that you're shit. You should go back to West Ham. Like, it's just, I don't get it. Like. And players are pretty socially active now. They all read Twitter. They all read Facebook. They know what's going on. They know what's going on. So look at Jesse Lingard as well. He's back at United copying pelters. Like, why put yourself through it, mate? Go somewhere where you like. Stay where you like. And I feel if Rice went, the only club I'd be happy for him going to is Man City, because those fans, along with us, have seen bad times. As much as they won the football lottery and got bought by a billionaire. The original Man City fans are just like us. They're a family club that were deprived of success. So it's a nice football club. I've got a soft spot for Man City.
I can't. I don't think I'll be happy if he goes anywhere.
No.
But I feel that way about Everton. I have more of a soft spot for Everton than I do Man City. So
yeah. Well, we all have one, don't we?
Yeah. Exactly. So I would assume that when you went to games, you went with family, your father.
Yes, look, I only went to one with my father, which was that last game at the Bowling. Or not last game, the last season. I couldn't get across for the last game, and Norway would have got a ticket. But the other times was mainly friends. My former stepfather, we used to go a couple of times. It was normally friends and family. I've got, in Essex, like I said, the contingent of West Ham fans there is huge. So, and growing up there, I'm not short of options when I go across. So now I've just seen a good evening all with a young lad with a Chelsea badge as his icon. Is that correct? Nipun Sharma.
Oh yeah. He joins from time to time here on the Hammers Network. West Ham is his
Wow.
second team.
Oh, well, stick your blue flag up your ass, me pun.
That's right.
Yeah. But no, it's so I've always, yeah, like I said, and when I go across now, I've got good friends. I don't know if he listens, but my good friend Mike Corsten, who is in Essex, he's West Ham mad. His whole family are, and I'm fortunate that I'm good friends with them. So if I go to a game, when I eventually go back, I'm almost certain I'll go to London Stadium with them. So which would be nice. It'd be nice to go see a game and take my binoculars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things to ask, and you are probably a perfect candidate for this because I'm sure that if you were going to games with friends and family, that you have to have a favorite chant.
Well, there's a few. I must admit, I do love that new Pablo Fanal song though. That's fantastic. He eats Paolo, drinks the show. He's off to Vienna. That's just great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that one would be good fun. I really was a huge fan of the Pie chant when that was going around. I think Declan Rice is in need of a good song. Cresswell's Magic Hat's a good one.
Oh, I haven't
Uh,
heard that one.
yeah. Well, look at that. I don't know it word for word, but it's like he's magic. He's magic. He wears a magic hat, or something along those lines. It's yeah, it's a really good one.
It sounds familiar, so I'll have to go
Yeah,
back
yeah.
and look. But yeah.
But and then of course, let's be honest, the main one would be Bubbles, and there's nothing better than singing that with at Upton Park with 35,000 other people.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know what it'd be like at London Stadium, but I've got a video which I'll send to you somewhere on my phone when I went to. It was when they used the old announcer there got it bang on, and he used to do it as the full-time whistle went. The chorus of Bubbles would kick in at that time, and he nailed it. And I don't know why they've changed it because at London Stadium they don't seem to do it at kickoff anymore. But that was brilliant. It really built the atmosphere. So, yeah.
I just remember jumping up and down, screaming, "Claret and Blue Army."
Well,
and it was my favorite thing because it's saying it so fast.
Oh, well, it's, the David Moyes I've seen is starting to get David Moyes' Claret and Blue Army sang, and that's a very, very rare accolade for West Ham fans to give out. So it just shows you what a fantastic job he's doing.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, I do miss going to football. I really do. Like it's such a great day out, especially evening games. You get there. If it's a Saturday evening game at 5:30, and you can go get down early, you can have a couple of beers in the pub, and the atmosphere at the pub is amazing. And then you walk to the stadium, and it's all kicking off down there, like you're having a song and a dance down the stadium. And then once you're in there, if you win, it's just great. It's just what a day out. And us as in Australia and America, we're deprived of that, which is a real shame. And it's not, and then the only time West Ham are actually going to come to Australia, COVID ruined it. So I miss them coming out here.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I don't know how often you go over though. Do you try and head over at least every year, or do you not, or is it like
no,
only American Hammers head over?
It's expensive for us to fly over, so we really have to look for good deals. But we do have supporters groups in pretty much the major cities here. So I'm a part of the Philadelphia group, and we all get together on game days or match days, and have a good time. So it's fun. It's like you said, it's a shame that we don't have the same experience walking to the pubs and then to the game. But when I was there, we did have that experience. So it's something I'll never forget, and it's completely it's just so memorable that I can't wait to get back. So I knew after my first game that we needed to start a supporters group here in Philadelphia, and that I needed to get back as soon as I could. But then, COVID and some other things came up. So we'll see.
So do you guys do national meets as well? Like, do you get everyone from the States all meet up at like a center point or anything and have like a big party, or is that not is that a thing?
So actually 2 years ago or 3 years ago, they did a big get together in Vegas, and they had some players come over, I believe, and a
Is that when
couple.
you had? That's when you had the West Ham podcast guys too.
Yes,
Dave Walker and that came
yes,
too.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
So they
So
all came.
yeah, that I did hear about that because I listened to their podcast too. So I do remember when all that kicked off. Which is
Yeah,
nice.
and so they were
Absolutely been
planning
great.
to do it again last year, but it got canceled. So we're just waiting to hear when the next one will be. So certainly sometime soon, and then we want to try and plan a city tour here in the area. So local groups can drive up to Boston or New York on a certain weekend, and then we'll have like a Philly and Baltimore, DC, because we're all within 2 to 4 hours of each other. So
Yeah, okay. So it's
yeah,
an effort,
yeah.
not too much of an effort. Yeah, I understand. So are you guys getting together for the Brentford game, or are you still not allowed to get together in those crowds?
No, we can. We have an outdoor place that we go. It's a bar, it's a pub with outdoor screens and like picnic tables and such. So we're lucky we still can get together outside here, but it was only just this summer that people could get together again.
Oh, great. Well, at least you guys are getting together. Are you posting big numbers, or is it, because I saw the photo I think you put up a few weeks ago with the flag. But I don't know, what's your general meet? About 20, 30, 100, 200? No.
So, in Philadelphia, we've had about a different group of 15 the past 3 weeks. So we're
Yeah.
definitely up to like 45, 50
Oh, wow.
individuals in just
Well,
in this area. So,
I call on
um,
all I call on all 50 to get together for the Brentford game because that'll be a fantastic one. It's going to be
yeah,
yeah, a
yeah,
great game.
it would be fun. Wally says that there should be one in the spring for anyone that wants to try to go to Vegas. Wally says we get the biggest numbers when I show up. Of course, because I get the hammer shots. So, Steve, so anytime we score a goal in Philadelphia, we give out hammer shots for free. So,
Oh, yeah, right. So
yeah,
what's involved? What's in a hammer shot? What is it? I have to make one.
vodka, grenadine, and razzmatazz.
Ah, right. Well, I'll put that on the list. Yeah, because we're still not technically allowed to get together in Australia. We're under strict COVID lockdown. So I normally do a like a Skype chat with a few of my English friends. But there's a West Brom fan in there and two Leeds fans. We're normally watching games between us, but we have a few drinks. So I'll bring that one up and I'll get them
Oh
all in a hammer
yeah,
shot.
you have to. You have
Yeah,
to.
that'll be great. Well, I stickler. We've been on the fireball lately, but I'll mix it up.
So Neil wants to know if you follow an A League team.
Yeah, so it was Melbourne Heart. They're now Melbourne City. So they got bought by the Abu Dhabi group, as a lot of teams around the world have. I don't often go. I have a friend who's a member, and when his brother can't go, they give me their ticket, and I'll make the trip in to go watch. But it's not very good. It's not very good football. But yeah, no, it's okay. At least we have some form of football. I'm guessing. Do you guys follow the local Philadelphia team in the MLS?
Yes. So yeah, I follow Union, and we've been doing pretty well over the past several years. So it's nice to be in a city where it's taken pretty seriously. For some of the other cities, not so much. They don't do as well, and so it really hasn't picked up as much traction as it would in some of the other places. It's disappointing because especially our men's soccer team for US, they're just not as good. They can't keep up. It's truly our women's team that shines. They do the best, and it's disappointing because I thought we should be much better at playing
Well,
football, but we struggle.
to be fair, your men's team has got some hell of a generation about to come through. Like I know a little bit about the US men's team, and they've got some serious players. So if you can find a good coach and those boys all sort of keep playing together, you could have a couple of good tournaments coming up.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Yeah, it's been quite a long time since we've been competitive, so that's
What?
the hope. It's kind of like West Ham slowly growing.
Well, yeah, just hopefully they keep growing and they don't stagnate like we tend to do.
Oh,
What about what's the Americans' view on Inter Miami? Is that do you guys frown upon that, or is it good for the league, or is it just annoying that Beckham's doing that?
Yeah, I think it's more so annoying than anything. We don't like it as much.
Yeah, well, because obviously you see it all, and they plaster it all over Facebook and that, and they advertise it. But you never really hear the views of other fans and other cities because he's started a team. He's got all the money and all the connections, and like you said, Philadelphia Union could suffer because of it, and it's a
Yes,
shame, isn't it?
exactly.
So,
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
So
Well, I'll start checking for Union scores then. I used to Columbus Crew was the team I used to follow because I spent time in Ohio. So, but I must admit I haven't checked it for a long, long time.
you said in Ohio?
Yeah. So I spent some time in
Cincinnati.
Ohio State. Is it
Right.
Cincinnati?
Ohio State. Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cincinnati FC.
Okay, so what isn't well? I saw Columbus though when I was in Ohio. So
Okay, you saw
have
Columbus
I
too.
got my cities mixed? Have I got my cities mixed up?
No, there's a Columbus
No.
as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it's so I saw Columbus. So I went to watch them, and yeah, that was a cool experience.
Yeah, Columbus is better than Cincinnati. That's why I was like, "Oh, Ohio, they're not good."
Yeah. So I made it to Columbus, which was my only taste of MLS football.
So, when you traveled to Ohio State and had plans of playing, what
Yeah.
position did you play? Tell me a little bit about that.
So at the time, I was a fullback. I played as a right back, but more of a right wing back. I used to get up and down the wing pretty well. So I went across as a right winger. They took me across as a right winger, not as a fullback. But about the fourth training session, I got crunched and my ankle blew up, and that was it. I didn't play again. In America anyway. So that was the end of that trial, and I got sent home with my tail between my legs. And after that, I was 17 when I went across, about to turn 18, and that was it for me. I just started playing leagues in Australia. I didn't bother trying to crack it anymore.
You can do a lot of damage when you play in college, and shortly after I graduated, I played indoor soccer and twisted my ankle on the turf, and I thought I broke it. I mean, I couldn't move it at all. So I can't imagine how you felt because, I mean, luckily it wasn't broken or anything like that. It was just very severely sprained. But yeah, it went limp. It wasn't moving.
Well, I got about another 10 years of football out of my body. And then about 3 years ago, I actually ruptured my ACL, and that was it. That was the end of me. So I had the surgery. I had it all fixed.
Oh wow!
It's a 9-month recovery for an ACL, and I'm not doing that again. So I hung the boots up, and now I coach. So I coach.
Well, good for you.
Team.
That's awesome. What age? I know. Sorry, Phil. I always say soccer because I can't help it.
Well, it's okay. It's we'll forgive you.
Thank you. Yeah. So tell me what you coach. How old?
Yeah. So I coach men's. I coach men's football. Men's. So it's a state league level, which is basically we're about 4 divisions below the A League.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds good, but it's not. There's a huge divide between those levels. So it sounds close, but it's a lot further than it sounds. So but they're called Peninsula Strikers. They're a great team, good bunch of lads, lots of English boys there, lots of expats. And it's just nice to be around a football club.
Yeah.
Once you stop playing, you miss it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hung up my boots a couple years ago. Just had hip surgeries and just was done. Wow. So I'm looking forward to coaching one day. Right now I'm just a little too busy with school, and so hopefully I will be a football coach.
Yeah, great. Well, it's really rewarding. It does take a lot of time and effort though. So like you said, until you find yourself with a bit of free time, it's hard to manage.
And one will hope that I could be as good as David Moyes building a team.
Oh, yeah, massive.
as West
I'd
Ham.
say it'd be nice to see a female coach make it one day. That'd be cool to see. You don't see him in the men's game.
It's very true. Yeah, I mean, especially here with women starting to coach in the NFL, like it's a very big thing now. That you still don't see any women coaching proper football.
No, I don't think you will for a long time, which is a
No,
shame. But it's going to be a tough one to break. I think that'll be a tough egg to crack.
I agree. I think the history and everything else, it makes sense. I'm not one of those individuals that's like, yeah, women has to do it, like, or a woman has to do it. I think, as long as it's the best person for the job, that's
Yeah,
kind of where I'm at. But yeah,
reading from the same thing sheet there. If you're good enough, you get the job, in my opinion.
exactly. But I will say I probably could do a better job than Karen Brady. So I could be a better owner than Karen Brady.
Well, look, I don't know your stance on it, but I'm very much GSB out, and I
Yeah.
won't talk too much about it. But yeah, she needs to go.
Yeah, we're all very GSB out on this channel, so you're not hurting any feelings there.
Oh, great. Well, yeah. Look, I feel sorry for. Well, yeah, I do. I'll touch on it. I do feel sorry for David Gold, but David Sullivan can do one. I hate that man. I hate that man. So, but and hate's a strong word, but he deserves it.
Yeah. So speaking of that word, hating, who do you hate the most? Like what team?
Well, look, by rights, by definition, it should be Tottenham or Millwall, but I absolutely
Yeah.
despise Liverpool. I hate them. I can't stand that football club. They're a bunch of entitled bankers, basically. I don't know how good they have it in terms of how successful they've been, and yet they still complain. And I will never, ever get over that 2006 Cup final, ever. So, I was stuck at a pub in Melbourne, surrounded by Liverpool fans, and the way they carried on, it's like they were all very nice to you when it was when it was
Right.
a good game and close, and as soon as they won, all bets are off. They were just really antagonistic, and always stuck with me, and I've never forgiven them. And if I could wish a club into liquidation, it'd be them.
All right. So Liverpool for liquidation. Hashtag.
Yeah, that'd be great. So hopefully FSG do their best to ruin them. But other than that, just very up there. Like Millwall by rights, we all hate Millwall, but
Millwall, yeah.
we haven't really played them enough in modern era for I'm in my 30s, for fans my age to appreciate that hatred to an extent. So I guess as a modern day football fan, it'd be Spurs.
Spurs, yeah.
Because they took Harry Redknapp, they signed all those great players in the early 2000s, and we kept getting relegated while they were doing reasonably well. So Spurs.
Yeah,
so what about yourself?
A Spurs for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand the history with Millwall and everything else. Definitely Spurs. Definitely.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Someone's just rocked up my door. That's all right. Sorry about that. Sorry, so my wife's just getting the door of someone's just shown up.
Oh, no worries.
Sorry. Yeah. So Spurs.
Yeah, Spurs. We have a lot of Chelsea fans here, and a lot of Man United. So those are where we tend to really struggle. We have Liverpool fans. There are a fair amount, but not as much as it sounds like you have.
Yeah, well, everywhere here, it's like a plague.
Can't get rid of them.
No. Every time you kill one, 10 more appear.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, Spurs would be close second. I'm not very fond of like Crystal Palace as well. They've built this weird rivalry with us for some reason. They all think that West Ham fans, or they think they're bigger than West Ham, and it's kind of like, you're not. Go away. Like West Ham, in terms of London, we're probably the third biggest club behind Chelsea and Arsenal.
Yeah.
Spurs, maybe Spurs, but really, realistically, like the moment we start being successful, you're going to see us. Like our support is unrivaled, in my opinion.
I think so too. I don't see why there's some sort of rivalry that Crystal Palace has brought up, other than the fact that maybe they think that they're of our caliber, but they're clearly not.
No, well, not this year anyway.
No, absolutely not. They've always, to me, been a bottom of the table team.
Yeah, well, they are, to be fair. Like, yeah, they're just levels. There's levels in football tier, and they're not on ours. Let's be
Yeah,
honest. And
yeah,
they
yeah.
can
We're
tell themselves
massive.
they are. Yeah, we are massive, and we're only getting bigger.
Oh my goodness. All right, so here's an important question, because what would be a podcast without football and food?
Okay.
Apple pie or meat pie?
It'd be a meat pie. Yeah, it's a
What kind of
very
meat pie?
Australian staple. Just steak, little
Steak.
standard meat pie, meat and gravy. Yeah, steak and gravy.
I had one. We just started getting them from Australia here, and I actually had a chicken and gravy, and it was really good. So I
Yeah,
can only
right.
imagine
Yeah.
that you are getting like the best meat pies down there.
Well, it may not be the best, but they're mass produced, so I have a good range of them every time I go to the pie shop in the morning on the way to
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, mine are
Yeah.
mass produced, not as good as yours.
Yeah. But no, it's okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. What other questions did you want to ask about food? Do you have any more food questions?
Uh yeah. I always have food questions.
Yeah, right.
So pizza or tacos?
Um, I'll probably say pizza, yeah, because you can change it up. Tacos are pretty. Yeah, tacos are taco. Pizza can be anything.
But you could have like pork tacos, steak tacos, chicken tacos.
Yeah, but I could have all of that on one pizza.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
That's your answer. I'm not gonna argue with you. Who would you say, on the squad right now frustrates you the most?
Bowen, Jared Bowen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
just for his finishing. Just for his finishing. Everyone can see how good he is. He's got an absolute engine. He works hard. His passes, deliveries are pretty good, but he's just not scoring. And like we spoke before, that's what's costing him an England call up at the moment.
Yeah,
So once he gets those goals, he'll get called up, I think, because there's reasons why Liverpool are linked with him. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, but yeah. You
So
same?
I'm sorry?
You're the same, Bowen for you as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, absolutely, Bowen. Diop is always a choice for me. I think he could have finished that goal today, but I'm not gonna get all over him because, of course, he's a defensive player. But I think from
Yeah,
time to time he just frustrates me because I think that he can do much better than what he's shown. I think he's a step behind defensively at times. I just think that with the experience he has, I was expecting a little bit more. I know everyone says he's still very young, but we'll see. We'll see what the young man does.
yeah. Well, Kurt Zuma should do wonders for him. I think they're doing wonders.
Yeah, you're right. Zuma, I'm so excited that we have him, and I just think that he's going to be amazing for us.
Yeah, well, he's a Rolls Royce of a centre back, so we're very lucky to have him.
Yeah, we are. We are. Wally said Sufal frustrates him the most. He's too damn good. So, Steve, I'll
No,
let you
no,
in
that's
on a little secret. Sufal is my man crush.
Oh,
He's my favorite by far. So, when it comes to the checks, Sufal or Suchek, who would you pick?
last year's. Can I take last year's Suchek because he was unbelievable.
Yeah,
This year he's been a bit off the pace, but he just looks knackered, the poor guy.
yeah,
So, hopefully we see him start banging him in again. But yeah, last year he was class. Sufal obviously was class as well, but Suchek's just such a presence.
yeah. He is. He is. You're right. He's knackered, and with them playing all these extra games this year, I'm truly concerned for him as well as Antonio once we get further down into the season.
Yeah.
So what are you thinking about the game on Sunday? What is your score predictions?
I think it'll be a draw. I think it'll be 2-2 score draw. Just because they're flying, their tails are up. As much as we seem to be a bit of a bogey team for Brentford at the moment, we normally beat them like we have in the preseason games the last few years. It's good. They always look good though, but we've always looked better. So I think with Europe and the fact we're rotating players, I think a draw would be a good result for both. But the way we've been playing, it wouldn't surprise me if we snuck a victory. I don't think we'll lose. Touch wood, that doesn't happen. But I think we've got too much. I think defensively, Zuma and Ogbonna will come back in. They're rested. Seafal should play. Cresswell, I don't know how he'll go playing 90 minutes tonight and then playing again. Maybe we'll have to rotate him at some point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Or maybe we'll even play 5 at the back because they play a 3 up top. We'll have to see what Moyes does. But yeah,
that'd be interesting. It would be good to see. I think we will take them. I think it'll be 1-0. That's what I'm predicting. But like
we
you
don't get
said,
clean sheets in the Premier League, though. You know that.
I know. So that's why, you never know. It's the West Ham way, right?
Oh, it is. Yeah. So we could go out and beat them 6-0, or we could get done 4-0. Who knows?
I know. So last question I have for you: who was your man of the match today?
Vlasic, actually.
Mr. Pickle.
Yeah. What, Mr. Pickle? Yeah. So he he didn't get the stats. Like, he didn't get assists or goals or anything, but his movement and his play and his touch and the way he's positioning himself, I think if he continues to develop how he is, and if he keeps playing like that, but with a bit of Moyes ball introduced, I think he's going to be a top-notch player for us. I think he's going to be very good. So I'll give it to him. He may not have been best on the park, but I think he showed enough to warrant getting that, because he's getting better and better, and every time he improves, we're getting a better player. So it's only good for us. So I think with confidence and a couple of man of the match awards from Steve Shep in Australia, he's going to be even better.
Well, I'm excited to see that. I'm going to have to catch up and watch the game today. That makes me really happy and excited because I love him. I think he's a phenomenal player. So if we can get him up and running, doing well and continuing to do well, along with Bowen, I think we're going to be unstoppable in a certain sense, with that. And then hopefully Antonio continuing to finish.
Yeah, well, it's the best. So it's the best team I've ever seen in my lifetime at West Ham. So, and that says it all. So,
right, in 30 years.
The squad we have right now is unbelievable. So, long may it continue, and hopefully in January we bring a striker into, even if it's a young player, just someone that we can give Antonio a rest.
Yeah, no, I agree. All right, Steve. Well, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's been awesome having you on.
Yeah,
everyone in the chat. I'm sorry?
It's been a pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You can come on anytime, especially because, you agree with me that Bowen is, right now, he's the one that needs to improve. We're all GBS out, and hashtag liquidate Liverpool.
Yeah, that's a great one. Well, look, if you're ever stuck for people not wanting to come on, feel free to shoot me a message and I'll fill the gap for you.
Absolutely. Wally, good to see you. Hopefully everyone will be able to get together on Sunday and we'll come out with that win. Yeah, I'm predicting that win, Steve. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Come on, you Irons. We'll
Come
see
on,
you guys
Irons.
soon.
Nice to see you. See you. Bye.